Can you skip paying for Canva Pro and use free background removers instead? I tested the built-in apps, other free tools, plus Canva's biggest competitor to find out. By the end of this video, you'll know which free options are actually worth using. Let's take a quick look at Canva Pro's built-in background remover so you can see what the other tools are competing against. As you can see, Canva Pro makes the process incredibly quick. The first app I tried is called Background Eraser. It's free to use and doesn't use Canva AI credits, which is definitely a plus. But unlike Canva Pro's background remover, you can't just use the image that's already in your design. I had to download my photo first, then upload it back into the app. The good news is it didn't take long to process. However, once that happened, the result was noticeably smaller than the original image. As soon as I enlarged it, the quality dropped and it looked blurry compared to Canva Pro's version. So while this app is free, it's not one I would personally recommend. And by the way, I'm judging these based on what actually matters when you're working with these tools. Does it require credits? Do you need to sign in? Can you use the image right there in Canva? Or do you have to upload it? And of course, does it actually do a good job removing the background? Next, I tried the Replace Background app. When I opened it, I noticed that it included 10 daily credits, which sounded promising. That means in theory, I should be able to use this app 10 times a day. This app isn't designed to create a transparent background. Instead, it generates a brand new background based on a text prompt. That's not what I was looking for here. After my first attempt, I went back to try a different prompt, but instead of showing 9 credits remaining, it said I had 0 left, which was pretty disappointing. One thing to keep in mind is that Canva apps change over time. New ones get added, existing ones get updated, and some disappear altogether. So if you can't find something that I'm sharing today, ask me about it and I'll do my best to help. Next, I tried an app that used to be called Relight, but now appears as Background Pro. In the past, I actually had a decent experience with it and thought it showed some promise. This time, though, things didn't go so well. I started processing one image, but after waiting several minutes, it stopped with an error message. I tried again with a different image and ran into the same problem. After spending more than 12 minutes testing 2 different images and getting no usable results, I decided to move on. Because I couldn't get it to work, I can't recommend it right now, although it may be worth testing again in the future if the developers resolve the issue. Then I tried Background Cleaner. At first, I was a little concerned because it briefly showed 0 credits remaining, but after a second, it updated to 10 daily credits. After my experience with the last app, I even started a timer to see how long it would take. One thing I immediately liked is that I didn't have to download and re-upload my image. I could simply select the image already in my Canva design. Even better, the output kept the same dimensions as the original, so there wasn't any obvious loss in quality. When I compared it side by side with Canva Pro's background remover, I was actually pretty impressed with the results. And don't worry, you don't have to keep track of which tools I like the most. I'll share my overall recommendations after I've tested every tool, including Canva's biggest competitor. Next, I looked at Background Remove It. Right away, I noticed that it only offered 1 free credit, and I didn't see any indication that it refreshes daily or even monthly. Because my goal is to find free background removers you can actually use more than once, I decided not to test it. The last time I tried this app, it actually didn't have this limitation, but based on the current credit model, it's not one I'd recommend if you're looking for a practical, free option. Next, I tried Backgroundless. Based on the name, I expected it to remove the background from my image. Instead, I discovered that it's actually an image generation tool, not a background remover. So while it may be useful for other purposes, it's not the right choice if your goal is to create a transparent background. Let's look at one last app inside of Canva before we head outside the platform. I tried Change Background. Unlike some of the other apps, this one did require me to upload my image first. Even though the output image was smaller than the original, I was surprised by how well it held up when I enlarged it again. In fact, the first result impressed me enough that I decided to test a second image. While the second image wasn't quite as sharp, it still did a good enough job that I think it's worth trying for yourself. Using external tools generally means a little more work, like uploading and downloading images. But some of the free tools actually impressed me. I tested remove.bg. This is a tool that many people recommend, but it does require you to upload your image from your device and then download the result before bringing it back into Canva. That's a few extra steps compared to using Canva's built-in tools. The free version also produces a lower resolution image, so depending on your needs, you may notice a loss in quality. If you decide to upscale it afterwards inside of Canva, you may be able to improve the result, but that's another step to consider. Next, I tried loan tools. Like many options outside of Canva, I did have to upload my image from my device. The good news is that I didn't need to create an account or log in. It was just free to use. But I was also pleasantly surprised at the quality of the result. Personally, whenever I find a tool that's this easy to use and completely free, I always wonder if it will stay that way. But at the time I'm filming this video, it worked well and is definitely worth considering. There are a couple more tools to test, including Canva's biggest competitors. And I'm sure that there are a few tools that I have not tried yet. If you have found a free background remover tool that works really well, I would love to hear about it in the comments so that perhaps I can test it in the future. I tested Tiny Wow by Jenny. Unlike some of the other tools, it offers a lot more than just background removal, so I had to navigate to the specific feature first. At the time I filmed this video, I didn't need to create an account or sign in, although I did have to upload my image from my device. The download process felt a little clunky to me, but the background remover itself was decent. Of course, with any free online tool, there's always a chance the pricing or limits could change in the future, but it could definitely work in a pinch. And if you're one of my channel members, I've put together a comparison guide so that you don't have to remember everything, but it includes my testing notes and other recommendations from today's video. I never thought I'd be testing one of Canva's biggest competitors for this video, but Adobe Express gets recommended so often that I figured it deserved a fair shot. From what I could see, the background remover itself looks promising. However, when I tried to download the result, I was prompted to either sign in or create an account. Since I refused to sign in to any of the other tools I tested, I decided not to make an exception here, so I couldn't actually test the quality of the result. Some of the apps I recommended a year ago did not perform well for me today. That's exactly why I think it's important to revisit these comparisons every so often. If you're on a tight budget, there are some great free alternatives for you to try. Inside Canva, Background Cleaner and Change Background gave me the best results. Outside Canva, Loan Tools and Tiny Wow by Jenny are also worth considering. But if you remove backgrounds on a daily basis, then it is worth it to upgrade to Canva Pro. If you're interested in editing images in Canva, I think you'll enjoy this beginner-friendly tutorial that's on your screen right now.